Good morning, everyone. It is such a privilege today to host the governor of the great state of Florida. And let me begin by thanking everyone for being here. On behalf of the entire Sheriff's Office, Governor, I know you're here to thank all your public safety workers, but I have to tell you, expressing to them how gracious you've been throughout the entire storm. Talking to you several times a day, talking to your office several times a day. You guys were absolutely overwhelmingly supporting the attention to detail, anything we could have wanted, you were there. And there's no doubt that, yes, we prepped and we prepared for this storm, but it was executed so well because of all the assistance we got from you. You facilitated so many things. So even after the storm, went home and laid down for about an hour. The phone was quiet for about an hour, and the general of the Florida Reserve's National Guard called. What do you guys need? We're here to help you with some debris removal. What can we help with? So it is a pleasure to be the person designated to welcome you here to Tampa, Florida today, and also on behalf of all the different local agencies that are here represented today. Thank you for being so gracious. Thank you for all your support. All right, thank you. The great governor.
You know, if you remember back when I ran in 2010, if you asked me the weather, I said there's 7 steps to 700,000 jobs over 7 years. So I talked about jobs the whole time. If you really think about this state, everything that happens in this state is tied to what you do. Nobody's moving a company here if they thought it was unsafe. Tourists don't come here, and 1 of every 6 jobs in the state is tied to tourism. Tourists don't come here if it's unsafe. Right? Kids are not going to go to school if they feel it's unsafe. I've not met one person that didn't want to live in a safe community. And so if you think about the 3 most important things for a family: jobs, education for their kids, and public safety, you do it. And then the other thing is you show up when other people are in danger. I always say, I always want to make sure that if I have a problem in my family or my house, that I want our law enforcement to show up, but everybody's in the same position. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for what you do. I know you do it not just during hurricanes, but you do it every day, and you put your lives at risk. So the first thing let's do is just give a big round of applause for everybody here, and thank you for what you do. I hope this is the state of all 50 states that people say, I want to serve in law enforcement in this state because I know I'm respected and appreciated. I have a grandson, and my oldest is going to turn 6, and he thinks my job is every weekend to take him to a different police office and to get a tour because he's going to be a policeman. He actually doesn't wear shorts because the Florida Department of Law Enforcement doesn't wear shorts, and he's always on duty. And he tries to wear a badge all the time. I've given him all sorts of badges, and he tries to wear a badge when he goes out. And he generally wears long sleeves and long pants because that's what he's seen FDLE do. And his entire life he's been around, and he respects and likes the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. So I hope he ends up becoming either a sheriff, deputy, or a police officer. And I know he tells me, Grandpa, I'm not afraid of anything, and I'm here to save people. So I think that's what you guys do every day. I would be more afraid of things. Some of the things I've watched in the last week after this hurricane, what some of these people went through. There's one guy down the Keys, the water got to here he was in a manufactured home, and I said, well, were you scared? No, I was just going to get in my boat. Not me. I want everybody to evacuate. I want to thank Chad for the introduction. I don't have opportunity very often to appoint a sheriff, and it was a real honor to announce I was going to have the opportunity to appoint Chad. I think he's going to be an outstanding sheriff, and I know he's done a great job all along, and so let's give a big round of applause. I just received a weather briefing from the Florida Division of Emergency Management on another hurricane, Hurricane Maria. So right now, Hurricane Maria remains a deadly and catastrophic Category 5 storm, and it's battering Puerto Rico today. I talked to the governor of Puerto Rico last night. I talked to the governor of the Virgin Islands this morning, and these are places that have already gotten hit, and now they're going to it appears they're going to get hit again. So our heart goes out to them. Right now it appears the path is going east of Florida, but let's all remember that when Irma started, it was supposed to hit our east coast. And so let's all make sure we all keep watching this and everybody get prepared. Tell everybody 3 days of water, 3 days of food. I've heard this enough. 3 days of water, 3 days of food. Have your medicine. Have an evacuation plan. Do all these things to get yourself prepared. I don't ever want another hurricane to impact us. I've been traveling the state every day. I was down in the Keys yesterday. We're getting people's power back. We still have about 2% of the state without power, so I think it's about 180,000 people in homes without businesses. They're still frustrated, but we're making some progress on that. But the big thing now is, let's all remember, we're in hurricane season. This is going on for another couple of months. So don't take this for granted that we're not going to, just because we had one, we're not going to get another one. If you saw it here, and I've been traveling the state, what you have to really appreciate is how gracious people are to each other. There's been so many stories of what people have done to others. I asked when it started, we had to open up all those shelters, and we needed more volunteers. So I asked for 17,000 volunteers, and I think in 2 days we got 37,000. So people all over the country came down here and volunteered. People from Houston after Harvey came down here and volunteered. But the thing that added all the value to this, and I can tell you this from traveling the state, when they saw law enforcement and they saw the military, that's when people felt more comfortable. I've gone to shelters in a variety of places around the state, and everyone, what they told me was, we appreciated when law enforcement showed up and when the National Guard showed up. And you guys made people feel comfortable, feel safe, and you treated people with respect, and people were so excited about how they were treated in these shelters all across the state. We also had, as you know, the biggest thing we can do after, besides making sure people are safe, is getting them the power back. Everyone wants their power back immediately. So we have over 30,000. We worked hard to pre-position assets, but it was harder because this hurricane went straight up through our state. But we have over 30,000 utility men and women from all over the country that came down here, all the way from Canada, to try to get our power back. And the counties that are still hurting are Highlands, Lee, Collier, and Monroe. But we're down to about 2%, but those are even higher than that. So we're still working on that. But to show appreciation to all of our first responders and to all of our utility men and women, we're going to give a free one-day pass on an unlimited basis until October 2018, so a little over a year, for anybody that wants to visit one of our state parks. And by the way, if you don't realize it, Florida is the only state that has won the gold medal for state parks twice, and it's the only state that's won the gold medal for state parks 3 times. And you can only win it every 6 years. And so we have great state parks, and over 20 million people. I think it's now closer. I think it's even close to 30 million people visit our state parks every year. We've got 167 of them. I also want to thank all of you that kept our roads open. People followed it on FL 511. I didn't realize that I was talking to somebody from Highway Safety that you had to push some cars off the road. I think my dad did that, but he didn't do it legally when I was a kid. But thank you for all you did to keep our evacuation routes open and keep the fuel running, because that had a big deal. The other thing we're dealing with is Zika. We thought that was passed. We got a lot of water in the state right now. So I'm asking everybody to think about just draining your property as fast as you can. Don't have any open containers of water sitting outside. Wear protective clothing. Wear bug repellent. All those things, so we don't get don't get Zika again. We don't have any active transmission of Zika right now, but hopefully we won't going forward. So I want to tell everybody around the state that thank God for our law enforcement, thank God for our National Guard, thank God for all of our volunteers, and the fact that people are showing up every day still to help people get to safety. I can tell you their biggest problem going forward is going to be, especially in the Keys, but some other areas, it's going to be housing. We lost a lot of homes. And in the Keys, if any of you have any friends who are down the Keys, this will be off a mile marker, but about 20 miles north of Key West, we're going about 20 miles, it is devastated. They got 9 foot of storm surge on the beach side, and the water just came in and went out and just took everything out. So it's really too bad what's happened. And then we had a lot of water. Even that one guy I talked to on the bay side, the water came up to here on him. So fortunately for him, it started going down. So thank you for what you do. I know this won't be the last hurricane we have. Hopefully it doesn't happen for a long time, and I hope Maria does not go west. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do every day, because you keep my family and families all across the state and all of our tourists safe. Thank you very much. There are sandwiches, and Grace wants to make sure that you guys eat all those sandwiches, and I hope there's enough. I don't ever know if we get enough sandwiches, but thank you. It's just a gesture of our appreciation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate it.
I've got you.
Oh.
The governor will come over for a
I want you.